Hi guys, it's Mrs. Rona with another mini lesson. This time I'm going to do type 2 binary compounds, and I'm going to basically apply the crisscross method, and now I'm going to write and name my binary formulas. So start over here with my example. I've got CuCl. Well, you want to go and look at your halogen right here, chlorine, and when you look at the periodic table, like I said, he's a halogen, and that group has a -1 charge. So when you would crisscross, you would see there's 1. Over here, because I don't see a number, I'm going to assume it's a 1. That means this would have been a +1. Why is it important? Because copper is going to be in the transition metal group, and so we want to make sure that we put a Roman numeral to identify which copper we're talking about, because it could be copper 1 or copper 2. So I'm going to use the oxidation of copper and assign that Roman numeral. So Cu would be copper 1 chloride. You're going to keep the same naming ending and add the IDE. So that was copper 1 chloride. Well, I'm going to use the same concept here. I know oxygen has a -2 charge. Okay, great. Because if I look, that 2 represents that -2 charge for oxygen. Well, all I'm going to do is take this 3 and cross it back up, which means iron had to have had a +3 charge. So I'm going to go ahead and name him using the oxidation that we have for iron. So this would be iron 3 ox, drop the ending, add IDE. And don't forget to put your parentheses around the Roman numerals. All right, so now I look at this one. He's failed. All right, I'm here all day long. All right, so now same thing. I'm going to look at this. Now this one's a little tricky. All right, because when I go and I look at oxygen, oxygen has a -2 oxidation charge when I look at the periodic table. But when I cross it, I don't see anything. The only way that my 2 would have gone away if I would have had a 2 over here. Because if you remember from previously, we went ahead and reduced out. Okay, so the only way that I could reduce it out to 1, 1 is if I had a 2 here, which means the oxidation charge for the oxygen is -2, and this one I cross up would be a +2 charge. That's the only way these 2 charges will cancel out. All right, so now naming him here, this one's going to be iron 2, parentheses, ox, and then drop the ending and add IDE. And there's your answer. Now I can use this and just basically go backwards, okay? So I look at this one over here and I say lead chlorine. Okay, so I know this is the root, just drop and add at the ending. Chlorine is a halogen, which means he has a -1 charge. Lead 2, this Roman numeral 2 is telling me the oxidation charge. So this is 2. So all I'm going to do is crisscross. Okay, no big deal. So the symbol for lead is Pb. I have a 1, but I don't have to write down the 1. Then I have the chlorine. I'm going to put the 2. And there's my answer. Lead 2 chloride. Okay, this one right here is going to be a little tricky just because you have to reduce. So same thing. It tells me lead has a +4 charge. Oxygen has a -2 charge. We're going to crisscross. So I'm going to have lead 2, oxygen 4. But we can go ahead and reduce, and that's what we're going to do. So we look at the common denominator. It's 2, 2. So once I have this in this reduced form, it's PbO2. And that's lead 4 oxide. I look at manganese oxide, same thing. Manganese is going to have a +4 charge. Oxygen, -2 charge. Okay, I'm going to have the symbol Mn. I already said the 2 is going to come over here. The oxygen is there. The 4 crossed over. So I'm going to simplify. So I have MnO2. That's for manganese 4 oxide. Now I went ahead and threw this one out here just to kind of refresh here. When you have a name, you can go backwards as well. This one is not a transition metal, so he does not have a Roman numeral, but same concept. Calcium is going to be an alkaline earth metal that has a +2 charge. Chlorine, which we've seen, he's a halogen with a -1 charge. So when I crisscross, that comes this way, that goes this way, and his compound is going to be CaCO2. And so that's just kind of naming and writing binary formulas type 2. If you have any questions, please feel free and send me a message through the Remind or through Schoology. Thank you.